No idea.
It's saying you are live, but we'll have to see if they can hear or see us. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone? How are you guys doing this evening?
Fantastic.
What about you, TC?
I'm doing fancy.
Fancy? Ooh. Got your fancy britches on?
Got my fancy britches on. Shit, you're lucky if I even wear pants on these things.
I'm not.
You don't?
I'm not.
Do people actually wear pants?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
No pants. No pants necessary for this chat. We're just waist up. So, shoulders up, we're good.
Just don't stand up.
Yeah, there you go. But, we appreciate everyone coming on. We'll give it a couple of minutes before we start cranking off. What have y'all been up to? Anything fun and exciting?
114 degree range days for me, man.
Ooh.
Got a beautiful sunburn all over and testing the new CMMG Banshee with those 30 round Gen 3 PMags.
Yeah.
Works pretty nice, man. Not gonna lie. I was a little skeptical, but I think it was a runner.
Yeah. You getting you a farmer's tan?
Bad. I forgot my
I got one.
I forgot my freaking sunblock, bro. And so here's how stupid I was. I had to drive an hour and 20 minutes to the range because all the BLM land is closed because we have the fire hazards in Arizona, where it's like 120 degrees and dry. We're pulling up to the range. I look at my buddy. I says, "Hey, you know what's the number one thing besides ammo?" Or I said, "You know what's one of the number one things you bring to the range with you?" And he's like, "Dude, did you forget the ammo?" I'm like, "No, I forgot the targets." I had to drive all the way back to the house, back out to the range. By the time we got shooting, it was already 110 degrees, man.
Wow.
So we stayed out there for like 3 hours doing video and photos for his company. And I was no sunblock. We were both just fried, man.
That's why you keep the paper plates in the truck, man. You always got them.
Dude, I know.
What about you, 17?
Just packing everything up, pretty soon I'm closing things down here on this end. I think I'm going to be doing maybe 2, maybe 3 more videos before I kind of just shut down for a little bit. Hopefully it'll be only like 3 weeks, but we'll see. I don't know what I'm doing really, because all my guns I got to put in storage or give them to a friend to hold for me. But I want to finish up the MR920. I want to do the Springfield 1911, and that'll probably be it for a little bit.
Cool. Yeah, I'm trying to get some videos done, but man, between this construction crap that's going on at the house, remodeling crap, it's super frantic trying to get shit done. And you hear bop, 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 and they're out there hammering and doing all the shit they're doing. Mm-hmm. So it's about to drive me crazy. But I got a couple of questions. No big deal. Are y'all having any luck on ammo in y'all's area?
Did you see that?
None.
Oh yeah, you're licking the big stick.
The forbidden popsicle, baby.
Yeah.
Ammo?
It's a shameless plug hour. Here we go.
Ammo,
I can't
as far
find
as ammo goes, man, I can still outfit a platoon.
Nice. Lucky bastards.
I've cycled through and prepared for like literally years, man, because this happens every other election or something, right? So I started buying, every other month I would buy a rifle or pistol, and then as I use it, I cycle it and I buy another one, and then I cycle that out. But every other month I'm only using half as much as I'm buying. So it took me years to do it, but I finally did it.
Yeah. No, it's always good to, definitely stockpile some, especially, your common calibers that you're going to be shooting, and keep that in stock. And then, periodically get, a couple hundred rounds here, a couple hundred rounds there just to replenish, but that's not a bad thing at all. I try to buy in bulk when I can, just so you get 1,000 rounds here, 1,000 rounds there. But it's crazy, man. I went in a couple places today looking around and just to see, what they had at lunch. And man, there's some places completely wiped out. I'm like, holy crap. So
just to kind
there's some places. Go ahead. I'm
just
sorry.
to kind of give you an example of New York, or at least by me, I got that 1911, it's 45, and I can only find 100 rounds. That's it. That's all I can find.
Hey, you only need one when it's a 45, baby.
That's right. That's right.
2 world wars.
Fat and slow does the job.
America. So but it was fun to shoot, and honestly, who needs more than 100 rounds of 45, right? But
one shot, you knock it through the wall. But I grabbed 100 rounds, and I don't ever see this, but I grabbed 100 rounds of the Federal Premium, the
Oh yeah.
buckshot, the 2 3/4 buckshot. This is the 8 pellets, and it's got the they call it a flight control wad. And I've been trying to find some of this, and I finally found it. So I grabbed 100 rounds of that because you can always use some defensive shotgun stuff. I have some, but I can always use more. But yeah, so that's say ammo is fun. I did see that PSA had a pretty decent sale on 300 Blackout the other day. Couldn't believe how inexpensive it was. They had the 6 hour 125 grain for $19.99. I was like, damn. So
I still don't know about that round, man. I think it's going to go the way to the 6.5 Grendel.
300 Blackout.
Yeah,
No, it's
I'm so like standoffish when it comes to new rounds, man, because how many have we seen come and go in the past decade, you know?
Oh, well, like 224 Valkyrie, but if you look, 224 Valkyrie, was going to replace the, 5.56 and the 223, which I didn't think it would, but 300 Blackout's not going anywhere. It's been around forever and it's still used in a bunch of areas today, so it's not going anywhere.
I don't think any well-used ammo will ever be replaced. So to say 5.56 223 it'll never be replaced.
Yeah.
Because let's think about all the people who own rifles in that caliber, whatever the hell they own in that caliber. Yeah. What are they going to do now? Swap barrels and all that other bullshit? They're never going to do that.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, people said that about 6.5 Creedmoor. They were like, "Oh, it'll never be around," and I was even thinking that for 6.5, but no, man, it definitely has a place. But I mean, I'm an old school guy with 308, but I kind of pushed off the 300 Blackout stuff for a long time, and then I was like, okay. As a matter of fact, I was already buying ammo before I even had a gun, before I had the 300 Blackout, because I knew I was going to get it. So, but let's see here. Yeah, I was going to say Ohio Gun Gear is saying it too. Well, where did it go? There it is right there. He's saying it's used by multiple agencies just in my area as well as overseas. And our guys in my city, they use it. So, I mean, there's nothing like having a 30 caliber round that basically can just slap an upper on and, or change even out a barrel and you're good to go and use the same mags as long as you don't use subs. So they'll feed properly. But yeah, and then also since you guys are YouTubers, I wanted to ask y'all this. Are y'all having any problems with when you put out a video, like how people are subscribed to you and they set their alert notifications? Are y'all having any problems with people not finding those?
Yeah. In fact, what did YouTube just announced? They're not going to be sending email notifications anymore, right? Yeah. But I've had the past probably 6 to 8 months, I've had a lot of people either email me or message me saying, "Hey, I didn't get the notification," or "I was unsubscribed," and I actually found out that I was unsubscribed to 3 channels, one of which being 1776.
Wow.
And then I can't remember who the heck else it was, and I knew I had subscribed to them, and I noticed that I wasn't seeing it in my kind of feed, and I was like, "What?" And then they're all 2A channels predominantly, and one of them was a conservative political channel. That I know I'm subscribed to it because I watch it all the time, and then all of a sudden it was just blasted out of my feed.
Yeah. What about you, 17?
I haven't really. Nobody's ever said anything. The most recent thing that happened was TN Steyer reached out to me to tell me that when he went to my page or whatever it is, my YouTube channel page, he was saying that it came up completely blank, like there were no videos at all.
Yeah, that's happened to me before.
I put a feeler out there, and everybody was saying that it looked good on their end, but some people intermittently were having the same issue, which I thought was really weird.
I've had that happen on my phone before too, and then I just reset the phone, and then everything works. So it could have just been that issue.
Well, they're getting better at the language too.
Yeah, cool. I'm getting tons of DMs and stuff on Instagram saying, "Hey, man, I'm not getting any alerts, not just emails. I'm not getting any alerts." And heck, here's Keith Gregory. He's like, Big Johnson Guns and Gear, I'm not getting any more notifications on YouTube anymore at all. And I've had tons of people saying, "Hey, are you not doing anything? What's going on?" And they're like, "I'm not getting notifications." I'm like, "Yeah, man, I've already put out 2 videos." And they're like, "Man, I'm not getting anything." So I don't know what's going on, but YouTube is doing their little censorship crap, I'm sure, or setting their agenda. So, but whatever.
Yeah, they're getting a lot better at picking words out of the thumbnails and out of your video context, which is why, you know, like a couple people out there like Johnny B, if you watch him, he specifically doesn't say certain words, and so do other like independent news channels. They won't say certain words because they know as soon as they do, they get throttled.
Yeah. No, I've gotten tons of, I mean, every time I put out a video, it's demonetized every single time. So I don't know. And, you know, but I'm putting the truth in the descriptions. I mean, like if it's an AR-15 video, I'm putting AR-15. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm putting what it is, and I'm sure they hate that, but I don't really care. You know, and if I don't get monetized, I just think it's horseshit. But, you know, I don't ultimately have any control over it. But are you having any issues, 17, other than, I mean,
No,
on your video?
I mean, the last two videos I posted did pretty well. I mean, I don't know what it is. Like I said, I had that big run in with them where basically everything was completely just destroyed. And you know, some of these videos had 100,000 views, and they kept going up and up. And then for whatever reason, you know, they were saying the one that just got me the most was you're shooting a gun in an unsafe environment, and I'm in a gun range. I mean, yeah, it looks like a basement, but it's an actual gun range. So I even asked the person, I said, how is that possible? I'm in a professionally owned gun range shooting a firearm. And it was a long-winded bullshit response, but whatever. It is what it is. You know it's going to happen. And I'll tell you now, after November 3rd, if let's say Joey B, you know, Joey B, who's related to Cardi B now, let's say he goes and he wins, that's it. I mean, and I don't care. I mean, I'm going to still do videos. I don't give a shit. It doesn't bother me. I mean, it is what it is. But at the same time, I think my frustration came in. It's like, you know, you build something and you don't beg for anything, and you kind of just go through the process over several years, and you're finally seeing a little bit of success. And then all of a sudden YouTube feels it's time to kind of screw you over, which, you know, that's their prerogative. You know, they can do that if they choose to. It's not right, but it is that way.
Yeah. I mean, I would
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Johnson. All right, I'll go. As far as I mean, like the monetization, it's like, here's my thing. People are like, oh, it's a private platform. Well, technically no, because they're protected under Section 230, which keeps them from litigation. So they're not, they're private, but they get a lot of protection, right? Which I can semi-understand. But if you don't want to monetize me because you don't have to, fine. Tell me you're not going to monetize me. Don't throttle it. Let that freedom of speech go. Because quite honestly, none of us are going to make big money off of YouTube ad revenue in the gun or anything community, but at least let people have free speech. If you don't want to monetize them, fine. Let me use your platform. I'll bring people to it. You don't have to pay me. I don't care, but don't throttle people back because you don't like some of what they say.
And the crazy thing too is, like, it's not like you're doing anything necessarily detrimental. You're actually, like, most of these videos are kind of there's a purpose to them. There's educational purposes behind them if you choose to do that route. And I think that's kind of where I get a little aggravated, because it's not like you're doing anything to harm anybody. Yet one of the most trending videos on YouTube right now is Cardi B's WAP video. And I'm sitting here saying, like, to me, how is that not banned? I mean, everything out of that woman's mouth is trash.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know,
she used to drug guys and steal their money.
Oh yeah.
It all depends on if you're the type of collective hive mind that'll burn a business down, then you pretty much get what you want.
Pretty much, yeah. You're absolutely right.
And you know, Art's saying it too. You know, I'm definitely being shadow banned because my videos, I mean, of course, when they demonetize them, they just don't go anywhere. But you know, normally, hell, I'll get, you know, sometimes 1,000 views in a day or more or whatever. And I mean, I'm getting like 200, and I'm just like, that's not normal, but whatever, you know, because I'm having people say, hey man, I'm getting no notifications. And this has been happening for a while, not just today. So, but it seems to be getting worse and worse, but you know, like I said, I can't control it. So whatever. Quick question on your, you know, like ARs or rifles or whatever, do you prefer a single stage trigger or a 2-stage trigger?
For me, I like single stage stuff. I've done the 2-stage thing. I've tried them, you know, the whole getting through, get the ball. I'm just like, this thing is about as smart as this thing right here. It's just, it can't figure it out. Right. I want that single stage, man.
Yeah. What about you, 17?
I'd agree with that. You know, why extra movement? What's the point? You know?
Yeah.
You're either going to take the shot or you're not. So take the shot.
And a lot of people say that it's for prepping, prepping the trigger and stuff like that. And a lot of hunters and precision guys, because two stages have been around forever. Single stages haven't. More to say. So, but that extra, take up, and I know it can be super smooth or it can be creepy or whatever you want, but I prefer a single stage. I'm just not a two-stage guy. I mean, I can shoot one, but that's not my choice.
Yeah. Doesn't make much sense to me. I mean, I had
an SKS that had like a quadruple stage trigger once. That thing just was break, and then break again. Yeah.
I was gonna say I've got one. On my SKSs they were like that too, but I've got a oh gosh, what's that one? That Russia. What's that one that I have 17?
Oh, you have a Saiga.
Yeah, Saiga.
Awesome.
That trigger is days.
You had to ask somebody else which gun you had.
I know. Well, I've got a few.
I want him to sell it to me. That's why, and he won't. So
yeah, that's why I wanted to remind you.
That's legal up here. That's legal.
Well, no, I was telling 17 the other day. I was digging through one of my safes and found 2 guns that I forgot that I had. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm just like, holy crap, that trigger is for days before it breaks. And then even pistols or rifles, do you prefer a flat face trigger or a curved trigger for the trigger itself?
I mean, it depends on guns. We've had this debate about the CZs. Like I love my P01 with the curved trigger. The P01 Omega I have is good, but there's something about that curved trigger that I like better. But then you go with like a Glock or an M&P, and that flat face trigger is awesome.
Or if you could change, or if you could change every trigger was easily replaceable. Okay, just say that. Would you prefer a flat face or would you prefer a curved trigger?
I think on a striker fire gun, I prefer a flat face trigger. Hammer fire, I think you need just a little bit more of that curvature on there.
Okay.
Just because the Omega, again, I'm using the Omega as an example. That's got one of the mushiest triggers of any gun that I've owned. It doesn't ever feel as good as that curved trigger. But again, everybody's going to be different on that,
Okay. Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of people out are saying flat. Flat is fad, then flat for life, flat for a pistol, curved for a rifle. So there's all kinds. What about you, TC? What do you prefer?
I'm kind of torn because there's some triggers out there like in rifles that feel really good curve, but the way I kind of explained it recently in like a video is the lower you can get a trigger, the lighter it's going to break, right? Curved triggers don't give you the opportunity to get too low because of the way your finger would impinge on it. So if you have a perfectly flat trigger, think about putting your finger here as compared to putting your finger there, working that leverage. You go from a 4.5 pound pull to a 2.5 pound pull just by where your finger is.
True. Yeah.
You can't do that on everything, but I really do like flat face stuff in the vast majority of my platforms now.
And that's kind of exactly what I was going to say. I prefer the flat, and I prefer it for 2 reasons. And if I can have a flat, I mean, most of my ARs or a lot of my ARs are flat face triggers, but on some rifles, they just don't give you a flat faced option. So you've got to have the curve. But where I look at it is also, I've got those big old ET fingers, that are 4 feet long. So what I like is, if you have the curve, you've already got the curve. And that's probably one of the reasons I don't care for the P01 trigger for me personally, because it has so much of a curve where my finger is already, it's already kind of collapsed, so to say, versus when it's flat, the trigger face is actually moved more forward. So it gives my finger more length to pull. So it's not pre-pulled, so to say, for me, like on a curved trigger is. So I like that about it. And then also like, exactly what TC said, that you can get a little more leverage if you go down just a little farther. You can go from 3.5 to 2.5 just by stretching down on the trigger if you need to. So, and then like on the, like on the FN and stuff like that, when you do get the flat face and on like the VP9, the stock VP9 compared to the PPQ, with their trigger, it's more forward. It's just set more forward. So I prefer a longer, where it's set a little farther away from the back strap, so to say. So, but anything that y'all are seeing out there as far as guns or, shotguns, anything that's exciting y'all about? I know they haven't been really showing a bunch of stuff, but anything that has got y'all kind of rised up?
I'm just seeing a lot of bare walls, man. I mean, there's been a couple of things that I was at a place called Range Time, which is like a kind of virtual shooting range in Phoenix, and they just got in this new Geisley rifle that was really nice. But I mean, there's so much stuff going on right now that everybody's kind of almost like at a standstill.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that have come out, I'm just like, meh.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still
I don't
waiting
think
to see what comes
I'm
out from
sorry.
shot, I guess.
Yeah, I just don't see people having. I don't think anybody manufacturer-wise is willing to take that jump in developing anything, because what's the market? I mean, there's a huge demand right now, but I just can't see anybody saying, all right, let me spend money on R&D to produce something that might be a huge failure. And then you got to think about production and numbers and price. I just don't think people right now are looking for that. I think people right now are looking for, the tried and true, like Glocks and Smith and Wessons and that kind of thing. But I don't know. I mean, there's nothing here. I mean, you go to gun shops here and it's kind of crazy, to see it. I was just talking to my local gun shop the other day because I needed some paperwork from him, and he was telling me his line was out the door again, and he literally has nothing in his shop and he can't get anything.
Yeah.
But they're buying all kinds of crazy shit. Single shot shotguns, stagecoach guns. I mean, it's just anything that goes boom is what people are buying right now.
There was somebody in the store the other day when I was there, and he just literally, it was probably about a month ago, literally says, I'll take anything that's left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's tough.
I mean, I was in there today, and they had, they had some Zev Z or Z, what is it, Zev 09s or whatever. They had a few of those. Something really weird. They had a Strike 1, the original Strike 1, not a Strike B, the original Strike 1, and they had 2 of them, and they were in 40 caliber. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So that was kind of weird. But they had, like high-end revolvers. Of course, they had their high-end Wilson Combats, all that stuff. And then as far as the rifles, they had like Nemo arms, the super like $4,000 ones. They had an FN Scar. They had stuff like that. But the regular rifles are gone. I mean, the ARs. They had the long bolt guns. But, and they're just like, as we get it in, we throw it on the shelf and it's gone. And it's the same with ammo. I mean, people were just like running in the door, like I was in there, just walked around, and I could see them, like when they got in the door, they were like running back to the ammo section. And I was just like, holy crap. All right, here's a good question. Got an email today to pre-buy ammo. Pay today, and it may come in September or October. Is that going to be a new norm? I've been seeing that for quite a while. That's not anything normal or out of the normal to me, because they're expecting shipments, so they're trying to pre-buy because they might be able to get a better price. But yeah, I've been seeing tons of people, and then I'll let you know this. I've seen people getting on the email and prepaying for it, and they won't charge your card until they ship it. But I know people personally that have been on the email for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden it'll just cancel, and you'll get an email that said, we have canceled your order. So all of a sudden you don't have your name on that list anymore. What about you guys? Y'all seeing that?
There's as I was just talking to or listening to somebody earlier, and it's like everything from the coding processes to the shrink wrap to everything is just so backed up right now. And as far as industry, when it comes to the ammo, look at the cost of primers, look at the cost of those raw materials. Even if you reload, probably why the orders are getting canceled, because the price is going up as those orders are being held. So they have to cancel them and reallow it in order to stay profitable on that. But the individual that was talking about it earlier, I'll leave nameless, was saying he was expecting anywhere from 12 to 18 months of this ammo stuff going on.
Yep. So I said the middle of 2021. Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. What about you, 17? Are you seeing anything? I know you can't.
I mean, I'm not actively looking. Let's say I'm not. I don't need to yet. So I don't really actively look. I'm not trolling the internet to say, oh my God, let me go grab this. I'm not doing that because I think that's partially the problem. I think right now we just have people who are who are probably overreacting slightly, and they're hoarding things, which is nothing new. We've seen it with toilet paper. I think one of the things that has to happen, and I think really it's kind of like just everything's adding up at once. So you have the pandemic, you have the shutdowns, you have these people going crazy in cities doing whatever the hell they want because we have governments that aren't willing to enforce laws, which is interesting. But more importantly, you also have an election coming up, and I think people are freaking out based on that election alone, because depending on which way that goes, I mean, you've got one guy who I won't even say him, I'm going to say her. You got one lady who is hell bent on getting rid of as many firearms as they can in America, and so I think people are freaking out about that. But I mean, I'm not going to go out there and start just buying and buying and buying. Honestly, if I sit on my ammo, I sit on my ammo. If I can't shoot at a range, I'm not going to. That's it.
Yeah.
But
someone said in the chat, I've already seen this. The normal primers, the small primers, you know, the packet that normally sells for $25, they're going for 200. And I saw a video today on Instagram that a guy bought some for $224 or $224 for just a box of primers, and they're normally $25. And I'm just like, screw that, man.
You used to be able to get a sleeve of 5,000 for that.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's just insane, man. And that's what I'm saying. I know that, you know, I know a lot of the reloaders are, I mean, just freaking out because they can't get them. And I know a lot of reloaders that have tons and tons of them because they prepped for it. But yeah, and it's just, you know, even the big ammo manufacturers, you know, some produce their own primers, not all of them, but some of them are freaking out. And that's why I think it's delaying a lot of these shipments and a lot of these orders are being canceled, you know. But yeah, it's, you know, I'm set up on a lot. I've got what I call some honey holes where if I need ammo or if I needed ammo, because I have people DM me all the time and I'm like, here you go. And I'll send them a link and I'm like, you can buy it right now. And, you know, it's a decent price, but it's, man, it's crazy. But I don't want to give away all my honey holes because I might end up needing them later on down the road, depending on how long this goes. But
yeah,
you know, so you never know.
You know, the crazy thing that I'm seeing is if private sales are allowed in your state, I'm seeing a lot of brand new, never fired in the box and the wrapping, and it's 3 times the store cost. And I'm like, oh, who's out there buying and flipping? You know, that's
yeah. Well, there are people doing that. You know, and I'll be honest, I have 3 rifles that have never ever been shot. I mean, they're in the box, and I bought them way back when. I've had them for 3 years, and I bought them for a reason. And they literally, the seal's still on the box. It's never even been opened. So, you know, but I'm not the guy that's planning on doing what you're talking about because, like I said, I've had them for 3 years. But, you know, if something really got bad, I would have them for myself or have them for family members, or if I needed to sell them, I could. But I'm not really looking to do that. But I think it's pretty crazy. I wonder if since California overturned their magazines, supposedly, I know that they're still shipping mags, but it's still, I mean, it's still going through the process. If it does stay and get overturned in California, I'm wondering if it's going to get overturned in other states like New York. 17.
You know, well, it's different. It's a different circuit court, you know, so it just depends. We have an extremely liberal one here, so the likelihood of it going, it would have to be pushed to the Supreme Court because it won't get passed through that, and not at all.
California is liberal too. You know, it went through a liberal area there.
That's going en banc through the 9th, so which is the most overturned and the most one of the most So, but if the Supreme Court does not really want to hear those cases right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, just throwing this out there, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, cancer's back. She's not doing well. So if we get another term, if Trump gets another term, personally, I think the smartest thing he could do, people may not like the dude, put Ted Cruz on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
He's fought that battle before and won. A little bit proven there. That's right. So I mean, for me, that would be a smart move because then you have a court that could be ruled to take those 2A cases and just say, no, this is the line. No, this is where we draw it because
this is the standard.
Ninth Circuit has the Ninth Circuit has the ability to actually to hold this and to make it go through based on the way it's right now. So we could get lucky on this one.
speaking of Ted Cruz, did you see where he stood up and actually said what's going to happen if Joe Biden wins? What's going to happen is Bernie Sanders is going to be like Secretary of State or Secretary. I mean, they've already placed all of these people that have been pulling for him. Even Cortez is going to be. They've got a position for her. Yeah, I mean, she could be like the head drink passer outer, but yeah, they've got this all set up. I mean, there's names and you know, Cruz pretty much let it out of the bag that this is what their plan is. So don't be surprised. And everybody needs to be aware of it. And that's why they're not announcing it, because people will be like, are you crazy? Are you serious? But they've got there's some backdoor deals that they made on that deal. You know, they told old Bernie to calm down. They had a place for him. So
it's not socialism. It's democratic socialism.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hang on. Now you're doing a little Nixon action there. So, you know, be careful. Getting some Nixon mixing in your Bernie.
Well, no, that was this. Bernie Sanders is just this.
I know. I said the voice sounded like you were getting a little both of them mixed in there, but yeah, they're Bernie. Whew, man, give it away now. That's his theme song. But yeah, and if you guys out there and ladies in the chat have questions, please ask them. We're going to start answering a bunch of questions. But yeah, I know that they are. I know that this ammo thing is probably not going to get better. I have a feeling it's probably going to get worse. So if you find something that you truly need, I'm not saying, you know, binge and hoard, but definitely get what you're needing right now, because I think it's, you know, I don't know if it's going to get any better, especially right now.
Yeah.
But anything fun and exciting that you guys have coming up? I know that you're going through the Move 17. You said you're going to do a couple of videos and get those out. What about you, TC? You got stuff coming up too?
I'll let Bust go first.
No, man, go for it, dude. Go.
As far as videos, yeah, I got. I've learned a lesson that I need to make a lot of content for the summer months here, because, like I said, it's 114 degrees in the range. So I've got some optic videos, some more LPVO from Riton, a couple Springfield videos coming out. I've got a Rival Arms video coming out. Factor, they make some triggers, but they just came out with a magwell, which it's nice because they specifically designed their new magwell. It looks like the SLR, which has been my favorite for a long time now, but it works with all of the back straps from the small to the large beaver tail, which not very many of them do.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's still concealable, so I got that coming. I just picked up that Bog Death Grip and was doing some work with that yesterday. I got a bunch of stuff coming. A Hellcat video, the Apex trigger for the Hellcat. I'm hopefully getting a big bore long rifle to play with. I can't let that out of the bag yet because it's still in the works, but hopefully some cool stuff. I'm trying to get out to a range. It's 1,000 yards. So
there you go.
We'll see if I can actually hit it. It's been a long time.
Yeah. So. That's awesome. Yeah, it was fun when I did it. What do you got? 17.8. See, hang on, here it was. Let's see here. It's a question for you. What STI do you own?
I don't.
Well, you were talking about. I know you were talking about you played with one and you liked it and you were thinking about getting it.
I mean, I sure like them. I don't like the price tag. Shit. I mean, God damn, if I could get one, I would, but I can't.
Yeah, we had 2 of them on the range yesterday. The Tuxedos and the XL and all the brand new ones. We had all the brand new ones at the range yesterday.
I mean, if I could go out and pick any 1911 to really get into that platform, I mean, you know, Rock Island Army was fine. I mean, it's like the lower end, obviously. I've been very pleasantly pleased with having the Springfields. I'm not going to lie to you, because I think they're pretty solid, but what the hell do I know? But if I could pick one, it would definitely be a Staccato, man. I friggin' love them. I like the way they look. Just everything about them, man. Like, that would be the one that I would go out and get, but the price is just so crazy.
I like it that they already have the RMR cuts, you know, the cuts for your optic, and then they already have the suppressor sights. I mean, it's, you know, that's a good thing, because if you did get another brand and you wanted to, you know, have that done, which I've done on my STI, you know, older one, and you know, there's just a lot of work that they have to do to mill it all out and everything, but it came out fantastic. But Yeah, I mean, with the STI setup, and I will always say STI. I know people say it's not STI, it's Staccato. I've been around forever. It's STI. And I know why they changed the name, but I won't get into that. That's, some people don't need to know that. But, it's a great pistol. I think for the price that you're getting it for, with everything that you can do with it, hey, why not get it? Matter of fact, I still have a ton of STI mags, but I don't even own an STI. Let's see here.
I mean, I do have.
Go ahead.
I do have a couple of guns coming in. Just waiting for the permission slips. So I got the Archon coming in, which I've mentioned before. I got a Glock 45 coming again, which I'm pretty happy about because I just like that gun. I like the way it fits in my hand. Whether it was 19X, now the 45. It's just a good, solid build. I actually have Nomad Defense that sent me the lower for my Gen 4. So as soon as I get my little permission slip for that. So I'm pretty excited about that because one of the things that I did, even with that MR920 Glock / which one is worth it, the MR920 it absolutely eclipses what Glock offers out of the box. But then you got to put in the price point, and some people are saying, well, $1,100, but keep in mind all that was MSRP and it had the optic. So you get it without the optic. You're looking at a $700+ gun. Yeah. And it just destroys the Glock 19 in regards to what it's offering, even if without that optic, So I think the Nomad Defense has a pretty cool little setup. So we're gonna see, man. I'm gonna see if it's worth it.
Did you get the Magwell?
I did. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. It's nice, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. God, what else do I got a couple more things. I can't remember shit. Yeah. My world's just crazy right now between the moving and work and everything. I can't remember half the stuff I'm supposed to be doing right now. So one of the things that I did with the Springfield, and I'm always upfront with everything I get from people. They sent me the 1911 not to keep, just to kind of test it out because I told them, I said, I'm not a 1911 guy and I want to get into 1911s. Help a brother out. So they were cool about it. Hopefully if they like the video and honestly, it's going to be a positive one. I know that's going to hurt some people's butts, but I'll be honest with you. I was so happy shooting that gun. I have not been that excited to shoot a gun in a while. And it wasn't because it's a Springfield or anything. It's because it's just this massive beast of a handgun. And it was shot like a 9mm. Yeah. I mean, it was awesome. It was really just a lot of fun. Super easy to shoot. I mean, you think a gun with a 45, but it felt good. It wasn't a lot of pushing or anything like that. So I got on that bandwagon. So now I'm going to see if they can hook me up with something nicer, a little bit smaller, maybe different calibers, that kind of crap. So
yeah, that Ronin, they got that Ronin that's pretty nice.
That's what this is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's okay. I couldn't tell from the video, but the whole Springfield thing, everybody's still mad about that, and I look at it as like this. I'm like, yeah, I don't like what they did, but do I want to see however many hundred of Americans that they employ not have a job? No.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And we
can agree. We can agree with a lot of things that companies do. Like Goodyear. But all right, here's a question. Want to get into long range shooting? Any thoughts on caliber and rifle for entry level?
God, there's been a bunch of recent rifle releases that are very economical. I'm going all in with the 6.5 stuff.
Yeah.
I dig that round. What the first one is going to be a custom build from a buddy of mine's company that builds really nice stuff on an AI chassis. But I mean, I'm trying to remember the brands. I think John Patton just went over a couple of them on TGC. And
I don't watch him, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's just a lot of like kind of the hunting style, but there's a couple of them that are chassis guns too. Yeah. That are really reasonably priced for what you're getting. Now, everybody's price point's different. So when I say the price for what you're getting, I'm talking in the 1,000+ category.
Right.
What do you think, 17?
Honestly, I don't have enough variants with different. I mean, I've had 308, 30-06, 223, 762. Whether it's by 54 or not, I mean, it's I've shot all of those. I haven't shot any of the modern calibers that have come out. I mean, it's just for me, it's budgetary type of things, and I don't have access to getting those types of special little builds.
Yeah.
So I go with what I like, man. Like for me, if you're gonna start out, do whatever you want, man. Fuck it. Yeah. Just go and buy something and just listen to what works best and listen to guys who know more about it than I do. Cause, you know, I'm not going to give you any good information. I'll tell you right now on any of that stuff.
My first time going out and shooting 1,000 and then hitting 1,200 was with a 338 Lapua. However, the 6.5 is the best caliber. You can, I mean, 1,000 yards, boom, boom, boom. You know, as long as you got everything, you're dope and all that stuff. That's cool. But I would definitely recommend the 6.5 round. And then for the rifle, I would recommend the Savage 110 Elite. For the price point, you cannot beat it. It actually comes in an MDT chassis, and it's the real one. Yep, it's the real MDT chassis. I've been looking at that thing for probably about ever since it was released at SHOT Show. That's one reason I bought my 22 trainer, because the 22 trainer is in the MDT chassis also. So it's the trainer for that gun. And I actually was going to buy that gun, but I ended up buying a different gun. And that's still on my list. But the 110 Elite from Savage, it has the 10 coat bolt. You can actually take the MDT. You can add the weights from MDT. You can buy them and load them right in there. You can make it a 20-pound rifle if you want to, or you can have it low. It comes with a brake, so you can put a suppressor on it. I mean, that thing is freaking ready to go right out of the box. And it's only like 15 and some change. And so to have a chassis rifle, the chassis, just to let you know, that MDT chassis is like $900 just for the chassis. So, and it is a match barrel. I mean, it's the whole deal. And also the bolt is head matched to the barrel. So that's one of the things they do on that rifle. I did a lot of research on those rifles, and that is the best bang for the buck. So that's what I would recommend. So let's see, we got a bunch of questions. Let me grab them here. They're still going. Where did it go? Oh, people are talking about the Tika trainer, the 22. Yeah, and I'm enjoying the little Savage 22. I mean, 22s are just fun as shit. And I can throw the can on it, have a blast. You know, I got that little dead air mask can. So far, the can's doing great. I think TN Star was asking about it. It's doing great. So I'm enjoying it. Yeah, and you're exactly right. If you want to know about long range, go to the X-Ring channel. He will get you squared away. But some of his stuff is AI, which is $10,000. As a matter of fact, the rifle that I shot, the 338 Lapua, is an AI with the scope, the rifle, and everything. It's a $15,000 setup that I shot. So I was
glass
like,
gets expensive.
Oh yeah, well, it was a $5,500 scope, and it's the quick change, so you can change the 338 to a 6 millimeter, whatever you want. It's all quick change. So I mean, it's a freaking awesome rifle. But I was like, damn, 15 grand, but it's a beast. But and also it's for 20 rounds, it's $100 every time, or it's $100 for 20 rounds for the 338 Lapua. Yeah. Oof. And that's factory ammo. That's the match grade Hornady. So yeah, it's not cheap. But yeah, it's any pistols that have got y'all's interest. I saw a couple of today that I was actually kind of surprised they had in stock that I hadn't seen in a while. But any pistols catching y'all's interest? It can be anything. I know y'all have bought a few, but
I had to pull myself out of the store the other day because they had a couple of really nice Shadow 2s in there.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta leave. I'm like, I'm gonna buy.
Should have grabbed you one, man. They're awesome.
I gotta wait. I got too much other stuff in line. I mean, pistol wise, other stuff coming out. There's a couple. There's things I want to start testing, kind of in that lower price range, and a couple of kind of brands that I've just never played with. I'm really interested. I've got a G2C. I'm really interested in G3C and the G3 and get my hands on those just to see. And then the Stoeger and the Steyr and a couple of those ones that I really haven't spent much time with because everything that's coming down, especially those new gun owners, a lot of it's coming down to budget, and they're finding themselves buying different things like the Tauruses or the Stoegers or the Steyrs, which I don't think are bad from my experience with them so far. But I want to get more rounds from them before I kind of make a video and be like, hey, yeah, I'd carry this thing around. It's a pretty good little gun. I don't want to do anything with them on camera until I'm like, okay, I'm very comfortable with these. But that lower price range is kind of what I want to play with a little bit because I've had some of the higher stuff, and I think that with as many people out there that are struggling to find out what they can afford, what they can buy, That's kind of the direction I want to go with a couple things here recently.
Yeah. I saw the AREX, the AREX competition pistol today, and I haven't seen one of those in ages. And they actually just got it in, and I was like, damn, you got one? I played around with it again, and I remember when it first came out, I played with it. And the trigger it's good. It's not a bad trigger, and they already have a trigger kit for it too. But it's not quite as good as the factory Shadow 2. But I think with that trigger kit, it would be. And it's a nice looking gun. I mean, very nice looking, but I saw that one, and I saw that Steyr, or excuse me, not Steyr, that Strike 1 40 caliber. They had 2 of those. They had the Strike Bs. They had some of those, which 17, the Archon. But I was kind of looking at the optic pistols, and they had the SAO, SIG, Legion, optic ready, and stuff like that. But I don't have any interest in those personally, but I know a lot of people like them. But yeah, and I think it was Wheel and Well Armed. He's saying X-Ring has the $15,000 rifle. Yeah, X-Ring has the AI. That's what he shoots, the same one that I got to shoot. So yeah, that's what he runs with. But yeah, it's and what's funny is I don't know about you guys, but I started out with rifles when I was I shot pistols too when I was younger, but I started shooting 22s at turtles and rabbits and all that kind of crap. So. But then as I got older, I got away from rifles and I went more towards pistols. And it is fun going back to rifles, to really kind of play around with them more. And, not that I was unfamiliar with them, but I think I was away from them too long to where now I'm actually getting more familiar with them. So I think it's, really good. But I did say in 2020, that's what I was going to do. It was going to be kind of the year of the rifle to where I could get back into those. So I am enjoying them a lot. Were you able to shoot your lever gun 17?
No, I haven't had time. I've been too busy working. Work is taking over my life right now. So
yeah, I didn't know if you got to shoot your rifle when you went to the range that day to shoot that 45.
No, you can't shoot rifles there, man. It's only a pistol range.
Oh,
that's it.
Damn, I didn't know that.
That's it.
So you probably blow the back
22s and shotguns. That's it.
You probably blow the back wall out of that mom's basement you shoot in.
Well, the last time I was there, it was a little dicey going in there, man. There was just a group of fucking clowns, to be honest with you. And I hate to say it, was one of them was one of the owners there, and he was shooting something he just bought. I don't even know what it was, but he was like, I don't think this is fully automatic, right? So he's fucking around with it, and that thing was like just like that, and he lost control of it. He shot part of the. I'm like, this is bullshit. You know what? Wow. So I shut down. I shut down earlier than normal because I wasn't about to take one. It was just being stupid. And I'm like, this is partially the problem right now. Is you're getting people who have no experience and they're learning from probably the worst people to learn from. And so I was like, nah, I'm getting out of here. It's not worth my life.
A lot of people think that range, if they own a range or work at a range, they're experts. So, but yeah, and there was right here, and I know that we had talked about it before, but Kyle is asking, have any of you tried the new Palmetto Glock copy? Are they officially out yet?
I don't think they are.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them in a while.
I know they've talked about it with SHOT Show and all that stuff, but I think with COVID, it really pushed that back because I haven't heard one person say, hey, they're out in the wild yet. And I think that Palmetto, they send me all kinds of emails every day, sometimes twice a day. So I figured I would have already got one now if they were officially out. But yeah, and here's another thing, and if y'all are seeing this, because I am, Kim is saying his range has been booked solid with new shooters, and that's what I'm experiencing. I usually go and enjoy just shooting on my own, but man, I walk in there now. Of course, I'm a member and I can go into VIP, so I can go in there. But man, there's people like 2-hour waits just to go into the regular part of the range, and I'm just like, golly, I mean, they're just standing around, and I mean, I've never seen so many cars in my life at these ranges now. I'll just drive by a range and it's just packed. I mean, literally packed.
Everybody's concerned about what's going on, man, and they're figuring out they need to practice, which is, I mean, I like it because people are doing exactly what we want them to, and I keep seeing a lot of people in the gun community. It's almost like making fun of the fat person at the gym. You won. They're in the gym. It's the same thing with all these new owners. Yeah. They're not just going to be immediate advocates. We need to court these people, like I keep saying. Yeah. Help them, train them, get them out there, make them an advocate. Because if we if we do what a lot of people on social media are doing, where we just, oh, these noobs and blah, 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 blah. And I get it to an extent, but if you have information, that's a gift. You need to share that with people.
Yeah.
Make these people advocates. Don't make them jaded, but just looking for their own self-protection, right?
Yeah. And I'm hoping when, this dies down that they don't go, okay, now I don't need a gun, or I don't want a gun, or I'm going to go back to the dark side. I'm hoping that, and I know some might, but I'm hoping most of them don't. I hope they do become true advocates for us.
But I also think it's going to be a lot of it. It's going to determine on the people they're going to for that specific training. Like the people I met at when I was shooting. I mean, there was a group of guys that were fine. They were kind of new, but cool. They were cool. They just were shooting. But the guy that they were with was just, loud, obnoxious, just talking about stupid shit. I'm like, this is what you don't want. You don't want people to come into this thinking that everybody's got this bravado and, oh, look at me, I carry a gun and I'm an expert shot. And then they bring the targets like 3.5 feet away from where they're shooting from and they can't even hit it. And it was just, I was like, this is crazy, man. This is craziness, And I mean, the last thing I want is to discourage anybody, but the last thing I want from that is to have people who have these guns and are just not ready or not, taking the whole function of what they're doing seriously. Like this is, to me, carrying a gun is not a joke. I mean, it's not something to brag about. It's not something to show off about. You take it seriously because when you shoot that gun, I mean, you're having a dangerous item in your hand that is fairly docile without pulling that trigger. But then you pull the trigger and next thing you know it, you've got a death machine, and I don't want somebody firing that thing that shouldn't be. So it's kind of hit and miss. Sometimes you get really good ones and they're solid instructors and you hear what they're saying. You're like, oh, okay. And you learn something even from them. Yeah. But this was not the situation this weekend. It was pretty sketchy, man.
Yeah. And when I went to go shoot the 22 with the suppressor and all that stuff, there was a guy, and he was in the VIP, but he was at the end and he had his girlfriend with him and she was in her own lane. And I think it was a little, I'm going to impress you, honey, real quick. And he had his, his 300 blackout, and he was doing like 2 mag dumps. I mean, just and his paper was like 10 yards away. He was all over it. I was just kind of sitting there looking through and just watching his target, and I was like, okay, I mean, whatever. But I was just like, I don't think he realized either he had a ton of ammo at home, or he didn't realize it's hard to get. So he was just doing his little mag dumps. But I was just like, hey, man, more power to him as long as he doesn't start waving that barrel this way. But
that's the masturbatory shooting. Yeah.
I mean, I've done it like, on the 4th of July, for those little 4th of July videos and stuff like that, America things. But, that was also when we weren't, worried about ammo. Everybody had tons of it. But this was just like 2 weeks ago he was doing that, and I was just like, wow, okay, have fun, But you've got a question. Bald is asking you, 17, how far is the range from your house?
Yeah, I answered 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 20 minutes. So
yeah. And it would be nice to have a range, very close to you, like an outdoor range where you could go and enjoy it yourself and all that, or if you had property. And I've got property, but I'm not going to drive 2.5 hours one way to go shoot out there.
I would.
Yeah. Well,
I would totally do it, man.
I could, but the only thing that's out there is mesquite trees and oil pumps. So, you just go stand out there and, there's pigs too, but it's not an area where like you can't just drive out there in a regular vehicle. We'd have to have like a serious tractor to get out in some of these areas. But
so the place that I'm building now, it's about a little bit over 2 acres, and I'm going to start looking into my local laws to see what I need to do to create my own range, which can be dicey, especially in this area because people freak out when they hear, boom. So I'm going to look into it. I'm going to see if maybe there's a possibility. I told my wife I want to do it, and she looked at me like I was an idiot. But I'm so used to her looking at me that way, so it didn't really faze me,
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm doing, man. I'm leaving Arizona in the next several years, and I'm looking at a minimum of 30 acres where I'm going, and that's because I want to build a full range, both long rifle, pistol, a shoot house, a full training center.
I thought about doing that out there where where our land is, but you know, I mean, I could put up berms, I could bring a dozer in and really do it up, but it's like driving 2.5 hours one way. You know, I'd have to put some quarters out there or something, you know, like sleeping quarters or something out there. But it, you know, and hell, I'm not, you know, beyond sleeping in a truck or in a tent. That's not a big deal to me. But it's crazy, man. Oh, here we go. Let's see here. I guess Keith has some news for us. Did you see the federal court struck down the high capacity magazine ban in California? Yeah, I think we already talking about that. I thought it was other breaking news. And that's the thing, you know, if you're able to put in berms, you know, where you've got a good backing, and you know, like a wildlife reserve or something behind you. I've got a friend who lives on one of those, and he lives on about 2.5 acres, and he was able to do a berm. Had to be so high and had to have a guy come out and sign off on it and all that stuff. But, you know, so maybe you can, maybe they'll let you do that. I think it's still going to be dicey in your area, but hell, you never know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll never know, but we're getting pretty close. We've got about 5 minutes. So if you've got, yeah, well, Dennis is, yeah, all of our wives probably look at us that way. So, you know,
yeah, that's because we are.
yeah. But mine, I've been married forever, and she knew I was that way when she married me. So,
yep,
me too.
That's my excuse. But any last closing words? We got a few minutes here. Anything y'all want to say? And if we got any quick questions, we can probably try to grab them too.
Oh man, I got some cool armor. I just lost the fastest way to lose 16 pounds or so, get better armor, you know?
Yeah.
I just had HRT Tactical and H-Link just sent me some of their modular carriers and all of their level 3, 3A, level 4, all their plates, three pieces, which is amazing. They sent me 3 pieces of every level of every version they have.
Wow.
2 to wear and 1 to shoot at. So I'm gonna blast some armor.
Yeah.
Now, can you wear that on the job or?
So I have a rig. I have a personal rig that I carry with me. That's hard armor, just to throw over myself. We have like active shooter stuff. This will be that new rig because it's better armor. The level 4 that's here is better, and it's 3 pounds lighter per plate.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the plate weighing in at?
I think the 3+ one is like 3.5 pounds, and then the 4 is like 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds, something like that.
So they're ceramic.
It's nice. It's a lot lighter than the 16 pounds of armor I had in there before.
Yeah. Yeah, my full loadout, it's 3+, and I know I can get ceramic and stuff, but I did want steel, but it's the thinnest steel. And so my full one weighs, with the whole rig, everything, front, back, it weighs 15.5 pounds. So, and it's the shooter cut, so I can get my big arm, I can shoot with it really, really easy. So
yeah,
I'm definitely digging it. I've got some other stuff, but it's thicker and it's bulkier and it's ceramic, but I just don't like it. And it's actually kind of heavy for ceramic. So that's why I wanted to get this. What about your armor setup, 17?
I got a couple of pots and pans attached by ropes.
Yeah.
I'll throw that over me, and I'm good to go.
That was in a movie once.
Yeah, get you some phone books.
Yeah. Hell, what am I afraid of? Nobody has guns here. It's New York.
Yeah.
I'm the one they should be afraid of. I have a gun. Half the people I live around, they don't even know what the hell a gun is. So who's going to shoot me?
He's asking this. I know I've got
all
one.
The criminals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That is true. Yeah.
So you got the Bog Death Grip tripod?
Yes. Was that Kelvin? Were you the one that messaged me about that? I think he was.
Yeah.
So I was talking about some stuff on the comments, and he was like, "Hey, Amazon's got the carbon fiber one right now for $147 shipped," and I was like, "Nah."
Yeah.
Went on there, and sure enough, man, I boued that thing up. I was using it yesterday. I like it. I think if you're under 6'4", it's really awesome. It's probably 6'2" and over, it's a little short for us, so you really got to get down on it. But I think for probably 98% of people out there, I really like that thing. It was solid. The build quality of it seemed really good. The adjustments were easy. The adjustments were firm. They were tight. My buddy was using it. He had his Ruger Precision out there. He was playing with it. He had another big, heavy I think it was a 6.5 gun. It was a massive. I mean, it had to weigh 17 pounds.
Yeah.
He put it in there and he was using it with that. So I like it, man. And it's something that's easy enough that I can put the grab handles on my Savior rifle bags. I slip it through one of the legs and I can carry it on that rifle bag with 2 rifles, and it's not that heavy, man. So it's nice. I like it right off the bat, dude.
So you obviously don't watch my videos, but I've had mine for almost a year now. And I've got the Death Bog grip. I've got the carbon fiber one, and I love it. It's freaking awesome. And I roll mine up in my prone shooting mat. I actually roll it up in it, and it's got a handle on the mat. So my, everything's all together. I can wag it around. But yeah, it's awesome. It's great. I've shot my 308 from it. Actually, back in the day, did some mag dumps with it just to see how bad it would rock. And that 308's no joke. It's a beast. It's a heavy rifle. AR. It's a Lancer AR-10, and I've even shot my AR pistol in it. I've shot my 22 in it. It's an awesome. I highly recommend it. Hell, every time I go to the range, I take it. So, but yeah, it's a good rig. So anybody that's needing one, if it's $149, I would jump all over it.
Yeah, it was $147. The carbon fiber.
Yeah, they're normally
and it looked
$220, I think.
Yeah, and it's solid because it literally looked like Amazon dragged it behind the truck for the last 5 miles of the ride.
Wow.
I mean, the box was caved in to the point where I thought the legs were going to be broke. And I pulled it. I mean, they broke the styrofoam. They dropped it so hard.
Damn.
Right.
Yeah,
and I pulled it out of the box.
Mine was seriously packed. And I like it that when you screw the feet, the little spikes come out, or when you screw them in, the spikes go in. So you've got spikes also if you want to use it for that. So it definitely works very well. But all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to shut it down. I appreciate TC being on. Of course, 1776. We will be doing this every Wednesday as we always do. It's always fun to have y'all out there. We appreciate y'all's comments and questions. And if you have any after the chat, please leave them. We'll all try to answer them, especially if it's anything specific. But and Dennis B saying magic chef pots are bulletproof. So if anybody needs,
I'm going to test those out. I'm going to do a video on that pretty soon. That's coming up.
Call up Magic Chef and say I need some demos sent to my house. We're gonna
want to see if they stop a bullet.
That new cooking channel.
Yeah, but we appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all so much. Have a great night, everyone, and we will see y'all next Wednesday. Carry on.
Night, everybody.